Hello, world and universe. Welcome to the Trevor Donald Experience. Manifest your truth. And if you're new to the channel, please hit that like and subscribe button. And for all my continued followers, I want to say thank you. And this is an opinion-based video channel where I try to open your eyes and ears up to some of the travails and tribulations that take place throughout our cities, our states, our country, and sometimes around the world. And I'm coming to you straight out of St. Louis, Missouri. We just concluded the celebration of 314, which is the area code for the St. Louis area, which was started several years ago. So it went from a celebration of one day to now it's an extension of the entire week. And 314, March 14th, was on Saturday. Today is Monday. And there had been a lot of things going on in the St. Louis area, including this crazy Midwestern weather. We had several days earlier in the week and last week where we were hitting 60s, 70s, and even had one day of hitting 80, 81 degrees. And then in a heartbeat, even Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, 314 day, was relatively nice. And then yesterday, all hell broke out in the skies. We had tremendous thunderstorms. The sky went completely dark, and we even had hail. There was a tornado advisory that had me concerned a bit because if you remember, last year, May 16th, we had a terrible tornado that devastated the North City and the central part of St. Louis, Missouri. We had over $2 billion worth of damage. 8,000 buildings that were destroyed, houses. Forest Park alone, our largest park, nationally known park, had 8,000 trees destroyed. So we were, I was not hoping for a tornado, but plane delays. We had a large volleyball tournament, a huge national volleyball tournament here at our America Center downtown. So there were people moving around. I got caught into the hail storm, heavy rains on the highway, but luckily everything was all right. But let's get back to what I got a story, and I want to parallel it. This story details young teens, and preferably young black male teens, and what they're doing and the devastation and the destruction that they're causing to themselves and to their community. Not only are these young teens harming other young teens, but they are also harming adults. There's a certain callousness and a fearlessness in these young people today. And I'm talking about teenagers, not people in their early 20s, early 30s, teenagers that are headed down what I call down the road of the D's: destruction, decimation, and death. And if it's not one of the D's, it will be one of the P's or the I's: incarceration or prison. We have an entire generation of the children of the corn that don't want to go to school. They come from fatherless homes. They come from broken homes, very broken. We have kids raising themselves. We also have kids raising kids, meaning that the parents, their chronological age or their intellectual age is suppressed, not where it needs to be, and they have a juvenile mentality, and then they are giving birth and having these children, and you have kids raising kids in total chaos and disruption. And what happens? It goes from the home and filters into our schools, and then into our communities, and then into our legal and criminal system. And I gotta mention, there are several people, when we talk about mentors, especially on Facebook, that I want to give a shout out to in the St. Louis area that are trying to do great things. One is Pastor Reverend Richard Jackson with Manasseh Ministries. He's been boots to the ground for years. He has a Facebook channel where he will do a daily devotion or talk about what's on his mind and encapsulate it around bringing it back to God. He has a prison ministry that does very well. Another guy is Brian Moore, who has Boys to Mentors. So he is actually boots to the ground. doing his thing, reaching back, trying to get these kids to do the right thing. We have another Reverend Pastor, Lordale Rush. He has a devotion channel on Facebook. So Richard Jackson, Lordale Rush, they have channels on Facebook that I want you all to support. Support is positive, is God-fearing. We have too many people that are living these godless-based lives. Reverend Pastor Paul King has a Facebook channel, and I want people to follow and support. All of this is positive. There's no buffoonery. There's intellectualism. There's Bible study. And then we also have my fraternity brother, Dr. William Munson, who has a Facebook channel on his ministry and prophetizing about worshiping God. So I wanted to shout those few people out that are doing the right thing. I want my channel to give exposure and to reach back and teach back. And we need to support each other throughout this crazy journey of what we call life. So where is the dichotomy and the hypocrisy in the 314 day? With us, and I'm seeing this especially in the Black community, when we have these celebration and holidays in many of our major urban cities, they can turn into death days. Death, D-E-A-T-H. Shooting days. The times when we're supposed to be celebrating Memorial Day, 4th of July, Labor Day, it has turned into decimation, desecration, shooting deaths, and a life of misery. We have, here again, an entire generation of people that are doing the wrong things, not going to school, not using information and intellectualism as a guideline to their freedom, and not having a God-based reality. So, over the day of 314, which was Saturday, 2 days ago, that was the actual celebration day, there were seven people got shot. Now, that's not a whole lot, but it's a lot if you're one of those seven. But here's the caveat. Two of those people that got shot were juveniles, and the majority of the 7 people shot in the shootings were all done by juveniles. What in the world is going on with our community? And I'm talking about the Black urban community. We've talked about defunding the police, self-policing ourselves, having these gun violence prevention nonprofit programs, whether it's Cure Violence out of Chicago. None of these things have worked. And us self-policing each other and not having the police as part of our community unit would be the most self-destructive thing that could happen. It would turn into the Wild Wild West. And you remember, Missouri versus Illinois is a open carry state, and there are issues with open carry, all kinds of issues. So if you can legally purchase a gun, you don't have to have a permit to openly carry your gun. And not only did we have 7 people shot on 314 Day, the bulk of them were teenagers, which tells you that all starts in the home. I think if you can't get to a kid by the time they are 2 or 3 years old, 2 or 3, by the time they're 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years old, it might be too late. I don't mean that we should give up on them and don't mentor these children, but we got to get to them very, very, very early, because the end result that is permeating throughout our communities is not good. It is completely negative. I am more worried about somebody that looks like me, that could be a grandson or a son of mine, harming me than any white police officer or any Black man my age, Black woman my age. There is a heavy burden and a heavy panacea of violence that is taking place with our young teenage Black boys. And I want to get into something that happened on January the 30th that precipitates exactly what I'm talking about, if you don't believe it. Black people, we have to face reality and look in the mirror and tell the truth. We have to manifest our truth. And what is the truth? It walks in its own shoes, it eats its own flesh, and it never wavers. So when you look in the mirror, what you see is what you get. It's the real deal. And we have a large an entire generation of folks that are going in the wrong direction. And here's a prime example. So let's get in this issue that happened in Ferguson, same area where Mike Brown got killed several years ago, where a third teen had been arrested after a rideshare driver was killed in a Ferguson shootout. So they have arrested 3 young black male teenagers, and guess who the victim was? The rideshare driver was a 28-year-old white female. Why do I say that? I'm not race baiting, but guess what? When these 3 young boys, teenagers, go to court, they're being charged with second-degree murder. One, the system is going to charge them as an adult, and guess what? Race plays in absolutely everything, especially when you're dealing with the legal system. The legal system is going to charge them as an adult, in my opinion, and is going to hit them with the book. So let's see what happened. A third teen has been arrested in connection with the deadly Ferguson shooting of rideshare driver Shannon O'Brien on January 30th. Police have arrested a third teen during their investigation. The victim was 28-year-old white female Shannon O'Brien, who was shot and killed. According to the St. Louis County Police Department, which has been investigating the case, per the request of Ferguson Police, a 17-year-old boy was arrested on a Thursday, and he remains in custody in St. Louis Family Court. He is facing charges of second-degree murder, armed criminal action, and unlawful use of a weapon. Neighbors said, this is what happened. Neighbors said Shannon O'Brien was caught in the middle of a shootout in the parking lot of Windward Court while driving for a rideshare. A witness described seeing 3 men in O'Brien's car with guns. Now, this is where it gets the issue about open carry in the Missouri laws. If you're a rideshare driver and you're picking up somebody, whether they're young, old, but definitely if they're young, should you pick them up if you see that they have a gun open and exposed? I wouldn't. I would cancel that ride. When she pulled into the parking lot, the teens got out of the car and got into a shooting with several men walking by. The witness said it was like as soon as they opened the door and they got out, and it was just like a war, like the Wild Wild West. Police have not confirmed those details, but says she was not the intended target of the shooting. Police did not say if they were looking for any further suspects. Now, for me, being from the south side of Chicago and raised in the inner city of St. Louis, I have my 5 senses and tentacles up. If I was doing a rideshare, I would not let a young teen get in my car with an open weapon, whether day or night. This young lady was a white female from Edwardsville. She probably didn't have the exposure of understanding the streets. And when the shooting took place, she probably froze. I mean, just think about that. She probably never witnessed that before. And ironically, the kids shooting at each other don't get shot. And guess what? The helpless victim, that's the rideshare driver, gets killed. In conclusion, another 17-year-old male was arrested on February 9th, and then a 16-year-old male was arrested on February the 18th. They are also both charged with second-degree murder, armed criminal action, unlawful use of a weapon. So you got a 16, 17, and 18-year-old. What is this world coming to?